It's the truth. Obesity is not a disease. It's a consequence of terrible life choices. What's up, everyone? Coach Devan back on the CrossFit Control podcast. This week, I want to talk about this might be a controversial subject. It's just myself, but I want to break down what causes obesity. So the topic of today is obesity is not a disease. It's a consequence of terrible life choices. And I don't mean to trigger anyone with that saying. It's the truth. Obesity is caused by your calorie intake is bigger than your calorie output. And there are some things that could cause your metabolism to be slower. And there might be a small percentage of people who their obesity is caused by a genetic trait, but it's relatively small. It's less than 1%. And most of us who are obese, I was obese at one point in time, it is because we are overeating and we are mistreating our body. And so I want this to be a quick podcast. I want to break down a couple things on what you need to be looking for, and hopefully you get your shit together if you're one of the people who feel like this is about you. It took me a long time, over 10 years, to get my shit together. And I still struggle with food on a day-to-day basis, but I try to make the right choices. So obesity is not a disease. It's a consequence of terrible life choices. Now, I got a couple different bags of snacks here, and so hopefully this breaks it down for you. But when it comes to obesity, like I said, it is calories in versus calorie out. Now, as your weight increases, your BMR is going to go up. Your body needs more calories to survive. It has a higher thermal rate. And so when it comes to obesity and trying to reverse that, you need to put yourself in a caloric deficit. Now, the caloric deficit that we're looking for, you can lose up to 1% of body weight per week. And what that looks like is if you're a 200-pound person, no more than 2 pounds per week. Personally, I like the 0.5% mark. So if you're a 200-pound person, you can lose a pound per week. And to lose a pound of body fat per week, you need to put yourself into a 500-calorie caloric deficit. Now, I got a couple snacks here, and I want to break this down for you because oftentimes people are not in the caloric deficit that they believe they are in. They might come to the gym and they think that they can have a little snack, and hopefully this is eye-opening to you. But let's say you are not in a caloric deficit and you decide to have some Oreos. Now, I use the 500-calorie goal for weight loss, but let's say that you just had an extra 250 calories a day. So 0.5 pound per week. And if you had an extra 0.5 pound of calories per week, by the end of the year, you've put on 26 pounds. And you do that for 5 years, you can do the math, you're over 100 pounds weight gain. So hopefully this makes some sense. But I have a bag of Oreos. There are 5 Oreos in here. 5 Oreos is 250 calories. 1 bowl of cereal, 250 calories. One half of a peanut butter sandwich, 250 calories. This is 100-calorie bread, so it's 100 calories per 2 slices. And then 33 grams of peanut butter is 190 calories. So we need to understand what the calories are going into our body and the calories that we are putting out. Oftentimes people think that if they start an exercise program, they are losing a ton of calories, and so they will start to overeat, and we need to avoid that. We need to make sure that we are looking at calories in versus calorie out. Now, that 1 hour a day of CrossFit, it is going to change your life, and it's going to make you feel good. But my saying is, we do CrossFit to make us feel good. We need to keep our nutrition in line to make us look good. So start tracking your calories. Your 2 goals are going to be 1 gram per pound of goal body weight per day. Within reason, if you are in that obesity range and you're weighing upwards of 300 pounds, go ahead and talk to one of us coaches. We'll help you pick a protein goal, but that's step 1. You got to hit your protein. And I have a couple other things coming out on protein soon. Step 2 is keep your caloric intake below your caloric output. And so start walking. You have your BMR. And so if you've done an in-body scan with us, take that BMR that's on your in-body scan, add 150 to 200 calories if you're going to be doing an hour of CrossFit, and you should be in a caloric deficit still. Now, if you do this for 2 to 4 weeks and you're still struggling to lose weight, come talk to me. We can always adjust your caloric intake. We can adjust your macros, but the easiest way to get this started is protein goal and make sure you're in a caloric deficit if you're trying to lose weight. So if you guys have any questions on this, it is somewhat of a controversial subject, but it's the truth. Obesity is not a disease. It's a consequence of terrible life choices.